Hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've tried making a video. Um, Mainly because, well, been having a lot of issues with my cameras and haven't been playing that many video games lately and things like that. So I haven't been really making YouTube videos. But in the meantime, I'll show you what I've got going on in the garage here. Well, yeah, garage, I guess you'd call it. There's quite a few bikes and a scooter, of course. That one's not mine. That belongs to my brother. All the rest are mine though. The Bonneville. I've just been out riding on it, so I'm not going to be touching too much of it, but it's going to be ridiculously hot. But mainly one of the things I've got to fix up, one of the things I'm going to have to fix up is the chain is ridiculously loose. Oh, and that pipe is incredibly hot. So to do that, I'm going to have to take the exhaust pipes off on each side. It's going to be a pain in the ass, so I've got to take the pinion pegs off to get the exhaust pipes off. I had the bike only serviced, 2 months ago? Not even that. And the chain's come loose, so I might be in need of either a new chain or just whinge about crap service at the place I went to. What's going on there? Oh, it's just the oil or something. Yeah, but it's sprayed. When they serviced it, they sprayed degreaser or something all over it, and it's still everywhere. It's all over. It's all over everything, and that is just ridiculous. When they did that, it's like, what? It's still all over the engine, all over the exhaust pipes. The bike went in there clean. They came out covered in this white crap. There's the Honda Dax or CT70 or Honda Mini Trail or whatever you want to call it. It's got a bigger engine dropped in it. It's a 160cc or a YX 160 if you're into pit bikes and stuff like that. What I've recently done is I've taken the wiring loom off the pit bike and I've just plugged it in because the old system was a 6 volt and this is a 12 volt. So I've got rid of all the old wiring loom and everything and replaced it with this sucker. Mainly because the old one had a used points when to fire, and this one has the CDI, so I had to swap it over for that reason as well. So yeah, I've just installed a kill switch, so now if I ever do get the engine running, I can actually turn it off, and an ignition key, so I can switch it off and stop other people from starting it up. Kill switch, I only got that the other day, so that only took about 3 weeks to arrive and 2 minutes to install. It wasn't hard at all. I just got the cable running in through the rubber grommet there, which is basically rock hard after 30 years, something like that. Rear chain and all that needs adjusting, but I'm going to have to take the rear wheel off and drop the engine out. Just do a little bit more grinding on the back of the engine and on the swing arm for the rubbing. I've still got the pit bike there because I want to take the forks off that one and put it onto this one. It's my new little project here. I've got a off-road ride in a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. So trying to get this little Sachs 150cc. It's basically a Honda CG 125 clone, but with a 150cc barrel on it. Electric start, kick start, all the clocks. It's done almost 20,000 Ks. Isn't a huge amount because my Bonneville still is getting close to that. And I've had this throughout. That's on 15,000 Ks. What's the scooter on? The scooter by 17,000 Ks. And my brother's scooter, he rides that everywhere. But we're looking after it for the time being, so it keeps getting stolen. It's making a lot of tappet noise, so I pulled the top off. And I bought some metric feeler gauges, so I can actually do that. I pulled the top off maybe 2-3 days ago, and I've just not had the tools to be able to finish it, so it's just been sitting like this. A few things I want to change on it. I've got a foam air filter, so I'm getting rid of the airbox. And to get rid of the airbox, I have to get rid of this exhaust pump. It's a bit useless. New indicators. The old indicators were pretty rank. Front ones are alright, they're on there, but the old ones were just hanging on by pure will alone. Where are they? There's one. This one here was actually held on by these 2 clamps, which are then wood screwed onto the plastic work, but as you can see, it's like the whole base is completely shot up. It doesn't work anymore. The other one was exactly the same, just on the other side, but without the clamps. It was just flapping about. When I got it, it didn't have a fuel cap and an ignition key. I've got them down here. Well, it did have them, but they didn't actually work because the bike had been stolen previously, and they ripped up the fuel cap and destroyed the ignition to get it to start. So you could start it with anything like a screwdriver or even a spoon. It's got the new key on the, well, that's a bit loose, on the ignition and on the tank. So all the plastic was shot. Massive exhaust on it. For a little 150cc, this thing's louder than my Bonneville. Just like engine noise. Tappets are really noisy as well. That's why I put the top off. So yeah, it's got this massive exhaust. See there, big old massive exhaust on it. It is registered. Well, it's got plates on it. Registration expired a couple of days ago, but I haven't got the renewal yet because I hadn't paid the transfer fee yet. Because I didn't have I only just got the bike ready. I've had it for about a week and a half, and it takes them about that long to send the transfer papers across. And now I just need to wait for the thing to arrive. Tyre wise, because it's going to go off road, I'm going to put a knobby pit bike tyre on the back, much like the one on the pit bike there, but that's a 14 and that's a 16. So I guess something like that on the bike. On the front though, the front is a little bit harder. I'm looking for either, it's an 18-inch wheel, so most pit bikes and off-road bikes have an 18-inch on the rear. So finding a front 18 which is aggressive, because we're going very off-road, it's going to be like 4x4 tracks and stuff like that. So I want something that's able to get me there. And also I kind of want the front one to be at least road legal. The rear one I can't find anything road legal in the 16, so I'm just going to go with the pit bike and hope it doesn't wear out by the time I get there. It's going to be a 500k ride to get there, so it's going to be a fair bit of a whack. But yeah, there are some road trails which have an 18 by 300, I guess you'd call it, 18 by 300, 18 by 250. So it's 2.5 inch or 3 inch tyre on them. So I'll see if I can get one of them on there, and that'll be at least road legal. So that's where most of my braking is, and that's where my steering is. So I kind of want that to be at least able to stop me. And it needs to be aggressive enough to go off-road, up over shingle and crap like that. I also put a new front inner tube in it. The old one had completely ripped around the valve. That's why it didn't go. I didn't ride it home. I actually loaded it up on a trailer. Put a new exhaust gasket in there. So yeah, I'll do the tappets, put it back together, and I'll see if I can start it up afterwards. So yeah, that's basically what's going on in here. So I'll come back to you in a little bit. Alright, it's been maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, and I've got it all back together now. I've done the adjusting. I checked up online and it says it should have a 0.8mm gap between the rockers and the piston and the valves. What mine had was closer to 1mm, so there's a massive gap in there, and it was making so much noise. Hopefully the thing on there is right, and it is meant to be that low. Otherwise this could go very bad. So it's all good to go again. Yeah, the fuel tank's on. I put this little inline filter on it because it had no gas cap. Who knows what fell in there? And I don't really trust the little strainers on that as filters. Those little strainers are quite shit. So I put an inline fuel filter. That will just keep the carb clean. But yeah, let's try this out. Kickstart, because I like kickstarts. That's on cycle. I switched it all off and I made sure it wouldn't run while I was turning the engine over. Yeah. Give me a second. See, that's why my electric start doesn't work. They're just not getting any fuel, is that it? Why is that not filling up? Got fuel in there. Oh, that's saying it's empty. So might be a matter of switching that over again, seeing if that will make a difference. It's sounding like it's not getting any fuel anyway. Oh, you're way too big. Where's my other screwdrivers? Tools all over the shop. That'll do. I wish it had an ordinary fuel tap on it. I'll probably go around and do that at some point. Just put a real fuel tap on there. So I put 6 litres into here the other day, and sure it doesn't look like 6 litres now. I only took it around the road, so they wouldn't have taken up all my fuel. Maybe the cap isn't sitting properly and it's just evaporating out. Don't know, we'll find out. Oh, check spark. Might not be having any spark. Where's my spare spark plug? Always have like a spare spark plug on hand for things like this. It should be in here somewhere. This makes it a lot easier when you're there it is. It's an old spark plug out of a different bike. But they all have the same cap on the end, so it makes it really easy. Now if I can have that just kind of sitting on there somehow. Don't really want to hold this because it'll zap me. Yeah. Here's a spark. So it's not spark. Must be fuel. Well, it sounds a lot better now. Okay, click, 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 click. Why it's got no fuel in it, I do not know. I have just a small leak somewhere. And I think I was going to take the electric start off it. That's sort of working now. That sounds a lot better though. That sounds a lot better. Not going clack, 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 clack really loudly. As you can hear from the yeah, I can't believe it. It must have flooded or something while I was kicking it. Got pretty deep pipe on it. That's it. That's the job done. It might still be a fraction high, but I think that's pretty good in my opinion. First time I've had to adjust the valves on an engine. And you can see how crap I am at kickstarting stuff. Yeah. That all works. GG. GG. Till next time. Adios.